Hey guys, it's Miss Jolly. I'm back. I hope you've had the opportunity to watch the book trailer for Silver Packages, and I hope you've also had the opportunity to check me out while I was going over the PowerPoint talking about vocabulary words and inferencing. Because I think that it would help you get the most out of this story. The title of this story again is Silver Packages, and it is an Appalachian Christmas story by Cynthia Rylant. And this is a wonderful, wonderful story based on a true story. And like I said earlier, but in case you didn't see the other link, this story is based on a true story about a Christmas train that traveled through the Appalachian Mountains, both in Virginia, down into North Carolina, and even into the foothills. And there are people in the Mulberry community that remember the Christmas train. And so I think that's very special because, there is a train that goes through North Wilkesboro. There are tracks. If you've ever been through North Wilkesboro, you've probably seen those railroad tracks. And so you have firsthand experience of where this Christmas train traveled. But like I said, it just didn't come to North Wilkesboro. It traveled all through the mountains of the Appalachian Mountains. So please enjoy my story as I share it with you. Here's the front cover. You can get some clue as to this character, and he's holding a brightly wrapped present and bright silver wrapping paper. And this is called Silver Packages. I hope you enjoy it. A train comes through Appalachia every year at Christmas. And though it doesn't have antlers, nor does the man standing on its rear platform have a long white beard, it may as well be Santa Claus and his sleigh for all the excitement it stirs up. People call it the Christmas train, and it has been coming to them for years. Each new child born in the mountains learns to walk, talk, and wait for the Christmas train. It is everyone's delight. The older people remember its beginning. They tell of a rich man who had come traveling through the hills by car many years back. No one knows why he came up into the hills but why isn't important. What matters is what happened. The man had an accident. His car just took itself right over the side of the ridge, and the man slumped in the car, hurting and scared. Someone came along. Some say it was old Mr. Cruikshank, but others say it was Betty Pritt. But who came along isn't really important either. You can see this is way before even the Christmas train started. Whoever it was pulled that rich man out of his car and took him to the house in the hills where he was nursed and cared for until he could make it out on his own. When he left, the rich man tried to give money to the people who had helped him, but they would not accept it. So that rich man left the mountains feeling he owed a great debt. Remember, we talked about debt. And so this rich man feels like he owes a debt to these people who helped him. And for the remaining years of his life, he has been repaying this debt. From the caboose of a Christmas train he brings into the hills each December. On the 23rd, everybody knows it, the train will slowly wind up and around the mountains, and on the platform of its caboose will stand the rich man in a blue wool coat. He will toss a sparkling silver package into the hands of each child who waits beside the tracks. And for some, it will be the only present they receive. So the train is awfully important. Some people only receive a gift, only one. Some people receive many gifts, and there are people that receive no gifts at all. But this man is trying to share some Christmas joy. One year, a boy named Frankie stands inside those tracks and waits for the Christmas train. It is very cold, and a lot of snow has come down the night before. Frankie's shoes were thin, and his feet hurt badly from the cold, but he was determined to wait, even if his feet and all the rest of him become ice. This little boy right here is Frankie. And Frankie, if you will look close, his pants don't go all the way to the bottom. And it says that his shoes are thin and his feet hurt badly. So, what can we infer? Can we infer that Frankie is rich? Or can we infer that maybe Frankie is poor? Now, this particular boy wants a particular present, not just any present tossed from the back of the train, a particular present, a doctor kit. He's been waiting for it beside the tracks. The train comes through finally, noisy and steaming and scary. It is so big, but everyone loves to see it, and they cheer and clap, and some of the mothers even weep to see it coming. Wonder why they weep. Do you think it's because they're so sad that it's coming? Or maybe they're weeping for joy? Or maybe they're just so overcome being thankful because without the Christmas train, their children wouldn't be getting a gift. Frankie stands there at the tracks, praying for a doctor kit, till he sees the caboose slowly coming up. And when it is just past his nose, he shouts and waves and runs after the train, his icy feet aching. From the rear platform, the rich man in the wool coat sees him. "Merry Christmas," he calls, and tosses into Frankie's hands a sparkling silver package. Frankie stops running. He's out of breath, so he can't yell a thank you. He can only hold tight to the gift and wave to the man and the train disappearing in the mountains. What do you think it is? Do you think it's his doctor's kit that he's been wanting and praying for? Let's see. Frankie carries his package home and puts his own name on it, and he sets it under the family Christmas tree. On Christmas morning, he opens it. It isn't a doctor kit. It's a cowboy holster set and 3 pairs of thick red socks. Frankie looks at his mother and father and brothers and sisters and tries not to cry. He wears the socks all winter and plays with the cowboy set all year, but he dreams of a doctor kit. The next Christmas, Frankie waits again in the cold for the Christmas train. The socks still fit him, so his feet are warm this year, but his fingers are cold and hurting. He waits at the tracks and prays for a doctor's kit. The train comes. The rich man tosses the silver package. Now, what can we infer that's going to be in the package this year? If you will remember last year, his feet were cold. And what did he get? This year, his fingers are cold. Let's see. And on Christmas morning, Frankie opens it. No. It is a little police car with lights that really work, plus 2 pairs of brown mittens. Frankie doesn't cry. He wears the mittens all winter and plays with the car all year. But he dreams of a doctor kit. Frankie waits 3 more years for a doctor kit. It never comes. He gets trucks and balls and games. He gets mittens and socks and hats and scarves. But the doctor kit never comes. When Frankie grows up, he moves away, out of the hills. He lives in different places and meets different kinds of people, and he himself changes a little into a different kind of person. But deep in him, never changing, are his memories and what he remembers most about being a boy in the hills. It is just when it seemed his feet would freeze like snow, a man on a train had brought socks. Just when it seemed his fingers were hardening to ice, the man had brought mittens. Just when the cold wind was cutting sharp as a blade into his throat, the man had brought a scarf. And just when Frankie's ears were numb and red with cold, the man had brought a hat. And Frankie remembers something about owing a debt. Now, who do you think Frankie feels that he owes a debt to? So, a grown man who has been gone a long time moves back into those same mountains to live. His brothers and sisters are still there waiting for him. He returns to the hills where he has grown up, and that winter near Christmas, he stands at the tracks watching the children wait for the train. And it comes, as always. The grown man watches the steam engines move toward him, watches the caboose roll by him, and he nearly runs after that train. So strong are his memories. This grown man nearly runs after a silver package. But instead, he watches a little girl chase that caboose. He watches a man in a wool coat toss her a sparkling silver package. He watches the gift land near the little girl's feet, watches her running so fast that she trips on her silver package, watches her fall hard to the ground. The grown man does run now, but not for a train, not for a rich man in a wool coat, but for a little girl. He picks her up, he wipes away her tears, and with the scarf from around his neck, he smiles at her. It's okay, little one, he says easily. The train is disappearing into the trees. He had meant to wave to the rich man, but there wasn't time. He picks up the silver package and puts it into the little girl's arms. You'll be all right, he tells her. I'll make sure. He opens up his kit to look for a band-aid. Name's Frank, he smiles. I'm a doctor. The end. Now, we stopped and did some inferring about um, what was going to be in the packages, and we made some predictions, and we tried to figure out what it was this author was trying to tell us without coming out and telling us. You know, and thinking back when I asked the question, who does this man think he owes a debt to? And yes, he probably did feel that he owed a debt to the rich man. But I think it was even more than that. I feel like that he felt like he owed a debt to his little community that he lived in and to the children and the people who lived there. So he went back to be a doctor to help the people in his community. This is a wonderful story. It's a wonderful story about how hope and how love can help you become whatever it is you want to be. Frank started out as a poor young boy who had cold feet and cold hands. And his parents loved him very much, but didn't have the money to always give him everything he needed or especially everything he wanted. Now, some of you may live in a home where you get everything you need and everything you want, but some of you may not. And it's okay. It's okay that we live and come from different places because inside you can decide what it is and who it is that you want to be. And luckily for you, you go to school at a place that has people who love you and are willing to help you in any way you need. And we have friends and we help each other and we love each other. But I want you to think about this. You know, gift giving during the holidays is normal in most homes. Most of the time around Christmas time, we give and receive presents. But not everyone is lucky to receive more than one gift. Like Frankie here, he got one gift a year on the Christmas train. But I want you to think about a gift that you received that meant more than anything else to you, your most favorite gift that you've ever received. Now, I want you to think about that gift and I want you to write the words that you would use to describe that gift and how it made you feel. Now, it could be a very expensive gift or it could be a gift that just was sentimental. It just meant so much to you. You know, at Christmas time, lots of times we think of Christmas trees and lights and snow and Santa Claus coming. But the most wonderful thing about Christmas is giving the gift of love to the people around you. And I think that is one of the best meanings of Christmas. So, Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoyed my story. Remember to write about the most precious gift you've ever received. And I hope your teachers will share that with me because I would love to know. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you soon.